पोएम में हम डिस्कस करने वाले हैं, आज जो पोएम के बारे में हम लोग डिस्कस करने वाले हैं वो एक शेक्सपियर का लिखा हुआ फर्स्ट पोएम है जिसका नाम है वीनस एंड अडोनिस। जैसे कि हमने यहाँ पे लिखा है, मेंशन किया है, वो एक नरेटिव पोएम है और इसको 1593 में लिखा गया था। नरेटिव पोएम क्या होता है? नरेटिव पोएम इज़ अ लॉन्ग रनिंग पोएम विच इज़ लाइक अ स्टोरी। ठीक है, एक पोएम जो कि स्टोरी की तरह प्रेजेंट किया गया है। ठीक है, ये पूरा पोएम एक स्टोरी कंटेन करता है और इट कंटेन्स लाइन्स ऑफ 1194। ओके, सो बेसिकली यहाँ पर वीनस एंड अडोनिस के बारे में बात हो रहा है, जो कि यहाँ पर मेन कैरेक्टर्स है वीनस और अडोनिस। सो हियर वीनस इज़ द गॉड ऑफ लव। हम लोग जो बोलते हैं वीनस जो है ना, वीनस एक गॉड ऑफ लव है और अडोनिस क्या है? अडोनिस एक हंटर है। ठीक है, एंड ही इज़ not at all interested in love or matters of love. He thinks that these are all wasted things and by this time he should have gone on hunting. ठीक है, तो वो hunting को ज़्यादा priority देता है and he has no interest in love and he has no interest in love. So what happens here is I'll discuss a short summary of this poem and then we'll discuss the main themes. We'll talk about what are the main themes or what are the symbols or other important things which are used in this poem. So let's have a quick summary discussion. तो इसमें क्या है कि Venus and Adonis है, जहाँ पर whereas Adonis is a hunter who is not at all interested in love matters. Okay, and on the other hand Venus is a goddess of love. So what happens here is when Venus sees Adonis for the first time, she falls for him, okay, and wants him. Okay, so here when Venus sees Adonis for the first time, she falls for him. तो यहाँ पर ये जो पॉइंट है, she falls for him and wants him to be hers. So ये जो पॉइंट है, इससे हम लोग को क्या पता चल रहा है? इससे हम लोग को ये पता चलता है कि वीनस जो है she has a love at first sight. ठीक है, so what happens in love at first sight? You are not at all impressed by what he does or what he doesn't, but at love at first sight you see the outward appearance, okay, the beauty, the outward beauty. And so when Venus saw Adonis, it was her love at first sight and she falls for him. Therefore she comes to earth for Adonis. Okay, but on the other hand when Venus says these things to Adonis, he is not at all interested in love and Adonis, what does he do? Adonis denies. Okay, Adonis denies. Adonis, whereas he is not interested in love and Venus being the god of love, desires, we can say she is very beautiful and Adonis is not at all interested in beauty. Okay, so later on in this poem we see that Adonis has a horse. Okay, he denies her and he has to go for hunting. But what happens here is Adonis has a horse and his horse falls for a mare. Okay, so Adonis has a horse who falls for a mare and there they both are in love, and because of the horse, Adonis is late. He can't go to hunting now. Okay, so what happens? He can't go to hunting now. So Venus sees this as a chance. This was a chance for Venus. Okay, this was a chance for Venus now. So she goes and confronts him. Okay, she goes and talks about her love to Adonis, but Adonis denies her again. Okay, he says that you are filled with lust. It's not love. So, but here on the next, if we'll move on to the story, we'll find that Venus sees a vision. Okay, Venus has a vision. Vision means those dreams which will come true. Okay, you see those dreams. So Venus has a vision that Adonis will be killed by the bear he is going hunting for. Okay, so here Venus has a vision that a bear will kill Adonis. Okay, and it's the same bear for which Adonis will go hunt for. Okay, so he wants to go hunting for a bear and there before this, okay, before Venus has vision, when Venus confronts her love to Adonis after seeing the chance she got from the horse, what happens? Adonis breaks her. Okay, Adonis is not very polite with Venus, and Venus is very heartbroken, and there she faints. Okay, Venus faints here. So by mistake, or when Adonis was waking her up, he thought that Venus has died, and he doesn't want that, so he kisses Venus. Okay, so because of this warmness she felt, Venus is awakened, and then she sees a vision where Adonis is killed by the bear. Okay, a wild bear. So here, when she tries to stop Adonis, Adonis replies her that this is no love. Okay, because she is taking advantage, because how will he believe, a mere man will believe that somebody like Venus has a vision, and now for all these years he has been hunting for, nothing happened to him, and now suddenly something will happen to him and he will die. Who will believe such things? Okay, so here Adonis also doesn't believe all these things of Venus, and now he says her that this is not love. What you are doing is not love, but mere attraction. You just have lust for me, and this breaks Venus. Okay, so let me bring out the lines. Okay, so what happens here is she tells him of her vision and warns him not to go out on the hunt, but he dismisses her. Okay, he dismisses her. He doesn't listen to her. Okay, so he tells Venus that she is not in love with him but blinded by lust. She cannot possibly assume to know him well enough to have fallen in love, because he does not even truly know himself yet. So what does Adonis here replies is, how can someone love anyone so early by just seeing him? And Adonis here also says that how can she know Adonis better than himself when Adonis doesn't know himself yet? Okay, so Venus is hurt by his words, and as he praises himself as he praises himself from her grip, she tries to cry. Venus was holding her hand, and what does he do? He removes her hand. He is now out of her grip, and he goes away, and she starts to cry that now Adonis is gonna die. Okay, so here what happens is, the next morning when she hears about dogs and hunters crying, or she is now worried about her vision and Adonis. Okay, so she sets up to find Adonis in the forest. Okay, so somewhere far away she finds the dog's dead body, and also Adonis's dead body, and now Adonis is dead. Adonis is dead. Adonis is dead. He is killed by the bear, and Venus is beside herself with sorrow. Venus is now left out. Venus has now no one, and she's with herself left with only sorrow and grief. Okay, she has never experienced loss. As being a god of love and desire, she has never experienced loss. Okay, loss before, and does not know how to process what has happened. Because she is the goddess of love, she decrees that from all the moment on love and be peppered with suspicious sadness and fear. So here what happens is, because she is the goddess of love, okay, because she is the goddess of love, she decrees that, she now announces या फिर वैसा कर देती है, she decrees that from that moment on love will be peppered, means love will have suspicious sadness and fear in it. Okay, Adonis का जो blood है, it has dyed the flowers around him dark purple. Okay, the blood of Adonis had made the flowers around him purple, and it is a reminder to Venus of his flesh and beauty. Fresh and beauty, she plucks a flower and brings it to her breast. She leaves the earth and returns to Phaos. Okay, Phaos is a place near Cyprus, which is near Venice. Okay, befogged and filled with sadness. Now she is filled with sadness, and she returns to her place. Now this was the summary of the poem. Let's discuss the important themes in this poem. So what are themes? Okay, how do we find out themes? So what basically the poem talks about in everything, या फिर क्या main चीज़ लिया गया है इस poem में? So first is of what the poem talks about is love. Okay, love. तो यहाँ पर वीनस ही लव को रिप्रेजेंट कर रही है, दैट वीनस इज द गॉडेस ऑफ लव एंड शी ओनली represents love. Okay, so here we see the first point of love is love at first sight. Okay, love at first sight. Here लव एट फर्स्ट साइट का पॉइंट हमने पहले भी डिस्कस किया है. लव एट फर्स्ट साइट वीनस को होता है एंड शी कम्स ऑल द वे टू अर्थ seeing or by attracted by Adonis's beauty. ठीक है ना, she comes specifically for him. Okay, she wants Adonis to love him. She was we can also say that because she is the goddess of love, she is filled with pride. Okay, that no one could resist her. Okay, but Adonis is full opposite to her and he declines her proposal, the fact that he loves hunting more than giving time to all these things. Okay, so and then comes the unrequited love. Unrequited love because Venus जो है, Venus loves Adonis but he does not reciprocate her feelings. Okay, because Adonis is not at all into love matters. So here what happens कि love appears. Okay, so here it was the point of unrequited love, and this point is another point, that love also appears as sexual desires. Okay, which Adonis argues, and it's which on this point Adonis argues that it is not love. Love is not all about love is not at all about sexual desires, on which Venus is putting more focus on. Okay, and Adonis argues on these things, and even the horse in this poem fall into a type of love and plays out the same power dynamic that Venus imposes on Adonis. Okay, even the horse, I said you about the horse, that what happens with Adonis's horse is he is in love with a mare he sees there, and they both combine. Okay, they both are into themselves. So because of that, because of his horses, Adonis is delayed with his hunting. So here also type of love horses show is also similar love which Venus is imposing on Adonis. Okay, so finally Venus expresses love for Adonis through her grief when she discovers he has been killed by bear. Okay, so in the last part which I made you explain in the summary was, after Adonis dies by bear, there Venus goes and expresses her love for Adonis through her grief. Okay, ultimately the poem represents love in many different iterations in order to showcase how amorphous and uncertain it truly is. We cannot define love. Okay, how it changes its process, how we can see love in Venus, a true love in Venus, when Adonis dies and she grieves on him because she never had lost anyone in her life. Okay, so she expresses her love for Adonis through her heart when Adonis dies. Okay.